Mm, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Hey, good morning. How are you? So today is March the 11th. I think it's March the 11th. Let me make sure. No, it's March the 12th. It's Friday already, guys. 2021. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over what I see in the market and what stocks are moving. Just going to check this out pre-market to see if there's any good positions we can take already, or we can kind of get a plan going for what's going on in the morning. So I'm going to sit here and drink my coffee, hang out, and check some stocks out. So, by the way, I'm not a financial planner. This is not financial advice. This is for entertainment only. So let's get into it, all right? I'm using eSignal for my charting, and I'll be pulling up probably Yahoo Finance, mainly FinViz for all of the data stuff. So we're going to jump into it first with the top leading gapper that's on the market, which is GIGM pre-market. So we're going to see what it's doing. Let's pull up its daily levels first. Mark out its blue skies so we can see what we got going on. $127. What are we trading at right now? Trading at 350. Oh, it was yesterday 352. What is right now trading at? Right now it's trading at about 562. So, okay. Let's map that stuff out. So what you want to do first is you want to look at where the stock has been trading at for the past couple years, just to see what its ranges are. So I usually do that by just marking out the where people are buying at and stuck at for the next day. So you can see that for the past 2 years, it's topped out right around $4 and $4.39. And remember, right now we're trading at 573. So I guess that's saying something. So you've already blown out the past 3 years. 3 years prices. It's very interesting. It's good. Oh, what is their news? Oh. There's no news. Okay. So obviously we're playing with a risky stock here. No news, gapper. Let's keep on marking this out. I'm going to have to jump in a little bit more because you really don't want to knock out or map out the wicks too much. These things are wicks. The reason why is because that's just where it traded at. It could have surged up to there and came down. What you really want to do is you want to grab the body of the candles. So back in April of, I think this was 2017, we had a nice weak runner. Oof, can't say that. We had 2 double tops though. Look at that. Almost back to back. So let's pull that one because that's in the middle of those green wicks, but it had some support on that red, which was that red open and flush. So people could be stuck, but really, would you be holding something from 2015 still if you were that stuck? I think you already sold out if that, because you are already here. Anyways, we're not gonna get into that right now. We're just gonna keep mapping these charts out, see what we got, see what we're doing. This is so old that this data isn't even good. Does that make sense? Like when you're looking at something from years ago, it's really hard to trust. The only way this could be applicable is if other traders are actually going to be using this as well, which it's very doubtful. It's very, very doubtful that a trader would actively trade with this old data. So we have some clearness up to 860, right? Got a little bit of some other stuff here we can kind of put in play, but not really. So let's check this out. All right. Just nothing really good, you know? Okay. Now we're switching to the 5 minute. Well, I say that, but we gotta throw these lines over here. So let's jump into the 5 minute and draw our daily lines on it. I want to mark out the PM highs, which technically this would be considered after hours highs, which is the red line, stopping point typically. And then we're going to draw some PM lines. So we got some good support down here. So if you were early this morning, you could have bought down here on this 514 and made a nice 70 cents. I wasn't quite ready sitting down at that point. But it would have been a good trade because you already broke through that and you're on your way up. We're stuttering at the 93 right now. All right, so now that we got those levels, let's see if those correspond to anything. So 591 down here on the daily, got room technically to 7, which is about where this ended at, 25 cents. So you could see another dollar push, dollar run. The 1 minute, you're doing pretty well. A little harder to see, a little smaller, but you get the point. You got a couple of bag holders already set up. A couple of shorts in there playing with you. If you get enough support behind you, yeah, you got a couple of shorts playing. Not big size though, so I'd watch out for that 100,000 candle to come through. It's probably going to be, I would say, 150,000 show up. So I would look at, let's see, for the bell, it's hard to say at this point. I have no idea what this would do at the bell. Right now, you're still playing with the pre-market crew, and it's given push up. Doesn't have any news on it, so I don't like it for a super long hold. But it could work. It could work. So it's gapped up 73% with 1.5 million shares of volume at 6:30 in the morning. So moving on, let's switch over to ENTX. ENTX was yesterday's play as well. That was a very nice yesterday play. It looks like it closed at 152% up. It had 361 million shares of volume. Very nice, very nice. But it looks like in the after hours, looks like it rebounded off of that 371 area pretty strong. Right here. It did not like that. And then in the after hours, these are all the shorts covering going up because you can see the volume is pretty light at the beginning. So once it started pushing up, the shorts started covering that were holding overnight. Volume stepped in. That's why you have some back-to-back half-mil candles. And then you see where they finally left, and it was just the buyers playing with themselves. And you had this solid consolidation zone at around 6. And the reason why you have that consolidation zone is because it's roughly $1 from the last consolidation zone. So anybody that was a bag holder and stuck was still holding. And anybody from up here was still probably holding as well. Most of those guys, I would think, got out around this last consolidation little bop right here. I traded this yesterday. It was good. I'm not sure if I'll trade it today. It depends. It has more news. Typically we've been seeing this a lot lately. So I'm not excited. Kind of excited. I don't know. It's hard to say. But we'll talk about this. So what we're going to have, and we can really use just the 5-minute chart for this because the daily's not really in play anymore. What we have is a very nice setup on a pattern if this was on the daily. Like intraday, sorry. But because this is a 2-day chart, it's a little bit more difficult to say. So right now we have two possibilities, right? if we get enough volume behind us in the pre-market, we can easily push back into blue skies, and then it's a clear giveaway. Gone to go, good to go. So that's a good possibility. You're only roughly $2 away from hitting those all-time highs. The red line here is previous all-time highs. The 790 blue line is what it actually touched yesterday, and then it double topped and the candles closed at the yellow line. So what does it take to do that? Well, you have to break through this volume. And here, let's pull this up too, so at the same time you can see what we're dealing with. So according to FinViz, make sure you can see that okay. Yeah, no, you can't. All right, there we go. According to FinViz, we're sitting with 13 million float, right? 82 million market cap, which we cycled that a couple times yesterday, and we got 41% of insider owned. So they blew out, released some news today. They had news yesterday. It's not showed up because obviously they don't want you to know that they had news 2 days in a row because they want to keep going. This is the next thing. They are burning money. Their 21 employees are burning up that. So each employee is paid what, $500,000? Just to do that math backwards. It's not, obviously that's not correct, but you get the point. It's the biggest volume yesterday on this one. Shares outstanding versus the institutional owned as well. So you have a 10% institutional owned, 41% this. These guys can't trade. These guys can trade. So what I see is the possibility for... I see it. I mean, if we have we have almost 5 million shares of volume pre-market at 51% gap on the second day. As long as these people don't sell out when the bell rings, you should have enough power on the float to take it up. I don't know. So if we test 438 again, which is $1.50 down, I don't think we will. In pre-market, it's an obvious long because you're buying off of that end of day support. Right now, you're kind of in this pretty big range here. So I don't know. I thought yesterday the stock was a complete gamble as well. Wasn't in control of it. I just rode the waves on it. I think it's a good stock for day trading. Let's see what the news was. 6K, and this is their actual push out. So what they say. Orly delivered large molecule therapeutics, announced it would report business and financial results for last year on March 18th before the markets open. So March 18th is next Thursday. So what it sounds like to me is, according to, this is another piece of news they issued today. Some company in Jerusalem has some information for it. Owns some other stuff. Second piece of news saying they're releasing that. And then here's the real piece of news. Positive phase 2 results. So this company doesn't produce anything. They don't have any thing. They're just clinically researching stuff. First oral bone building product to treat osteoporosis. What? So you drink something that's for your bones, like milk? Is this milk? This is milk. Shares 52, 625, shares trade. Yeah, this is Well, so this could get some good volume, but I don't know. I think it's going to trade within this range. I'm going to map out a couple more lines just to see where we've had troubles this morning. And I will probably buy off of this guy's support, but not right now. All right, moving on to the next one. What do we got? We got MBII. MBII. What's our pattern on MBII? Well, I can already see that we've had some bumps in the road this morning. It's all volume on MBII. Oh, super light. Super light volume. I don't like things with super light volume because they don't really move. This has no news. I'm going to skip this one just because it has no news. Let's just jump to the next one with volume, which is going to be BHAT. Why do I skip to things that have more volume? Because more people are looking at them. There's no point in trading something if you're trading it by yourself, because then you're not trading, then you're just buying. Or you're just selling. And if you're just a buyer or just a seller, then you're not a trader. So if you're one of those two things, then you're not going to make any money, technically. You have to be one of those two things in a position with volume. So there's someone to buy the thing you're selling, or there's someone to sell the thing you want to buy. So BHAT had that. BHAT, BHAT, had that. That rhymes. And they're pretty cheap. So let's see this for all the people that like to buy the cheap stuff. Do we have any rage? Marking out those lines. Oh, we don't have much overhead resistance. We got blue skies pretty quickly. We got, let's mark out these dailies. Ultimate low, too low. Consolidation. Yeah, that's a good one right there. So you're buying off of a 113 support, which is not a very good support to buy off of. All right, the reason why it's not very good support to buy off of, because anything under $1 on NASDAQ or NYSE will risk getting delisted, right? So a company needs to maintain above $1 on NASDAQ or NYSE to be able to get NASDAQ rights. I don't know. To not go switch to OTC market, pretty much. Or get pushed over there. So we got these 2, 3, 4 red big spikes. 1, 2. I counted this one, but I shouldn't count that one. That's had volume. Is that volume? What is that volume? Wow, they did have volume. 110 million? 124? Well, that's not right. Can't be. Oh, there it was. 266 million. Back here, 174 million. And back here, 156 million. So when this thing has attention, it has attention. So that's, I guess it's a good sign. However, the problem with that is it set up a lot of baggers. So, and that was only for a year. I mean, it's not technically overdue for another dump and fail. It's possible, though, that it could run for a dump and fail. Why is it so... So we have a consolidation band, which is pretty interesting to see. See the consolidation line? Right about there, which is at 140. So you could buy off of that 140 support. That may be the safest buy spot, right? Yeah, right about 140. And let's just put it over here, which is where it was yesterday's price. So we're already 30 cents above where we were yesterday. Technically, you're at the bottom of this range, but the problem is it didn't have any news again. So when things don't have any news, but they do have volume, it makes them more risky. This is at least rolling at 21% on the gap scanner. I don't like it just because the range is really tight. There's not dollar movements. There's maybe quarter movements. So you'd get, let's say if you're going long, right? You buy long, you have super low fees, so it doesn't really matter to talk about that. You're going to buy in. What is your risk? Your risk is obviously yesterday's close, which is $1.37, I think. Somewhat close to that. Whatever, we'll call it $1.40. So your risk is $1.40, right? So let's say you want to buy this and you want to hold it because you think this company is going to do something. It's not. Then you're going to buy it at what, 160? You're buying it 20 cents off of support. What's your possibility? Maybe you just saw it hit $2 and fail. So I mean, it could. It definitely could. It definitely could get the momentum and spike up there. But I'm not betting on it. I don't like it. So you'd have to have, I would say, in order for that to happen, that to work better, you'd have to have a surge of volume that's pushing 100,000 candles. And right now you can see from this chart, right? Yeah, you can see. This is the volume on the 1 minute, and it was sitting with 1,000. The biggest one we had was a drop off back here, and it was not even 100,000. So I'm going to take BHAT off of my list for this morning. Also, you have to remember today is Friday, y'all. So there's not much going on Friday morning. Ooh, I like this chart. What is this? Oh, Envomax. Well, the daily, it's been on this crazy rip of a sell-off since then. Where did it base out at? Based out there, about 150, and it's already back up. It popped itself back up yesterday to that. So congratulations for anybody taking Envomax long. Down here on this bottom buy, that's pretty good. Where do I think it's going to go? Well, it's a large cap with expensive price point, so I don't think it's going to go too fast or too far. But it has the possibility to, I would say today, what did it gap to? 225? I would say it has a possibility today. It just took back this week of losses, which is cool. The next hurdle is going to be 245. And your next hurdle is probably, no. It's going to beat that. There you go. Your next hurdle is 282. After 282, you're looking at 299, 31, 300, and then these aren't, you can't really count those. So you're going to be fighting a big uphill battle. Obviously, this thing blew up because it was dealing with this from 2016, which is why I could just take it out pretty quickly because it had volume. And plus you had these new bag holders that was set back here. Everybody at the back then. So congratulations to anybody bought this stock at like $20. Or not even, what was this at? $6. I don't think I traded this. I don't remember. This massive gap up was beautiful. This was a good gap up too. Whoever did this one, 130 to wake up the next morning with $150 something. That's kind of like a GME. Oh, let's talk about GME. I want to do that because these small caps just lagging behind today. I mean, as we're talking right now, ENTX is pushing back up on a nice green candle back through VWAP. So it does have some possibilities of doing something. Still not taking a position on it. It's now the second leading gap because of the warrants being the first, but not taking any position yet on it. So let's pull up GameStop. What did we do yesterday after hours? This was Wednesday. I don't know if you watched this, but Diamond Hands sold his shares. Wasn't a short. It was Diamond Hands. You can blame your own team for this one. So this was, I think it started at 350 when I was watching it. I went long at like 320 and I sold out at 345. And I was looking for my next position once it cracked the 350 level because it was then going to move to 375 pretty quickly. And I would have bought it on the pullback to test 385. But as I was sitting there watching it stutter, you start to see this price just like pause and vibrate. And you're like, what's going on? What's going on? 330 happens, and you see these people start jumping in, trying to buy, and they can't. And it's not going anywhere. So, ding dong, that's your clue. It's going to go down. Seller executes a massive market order. Massive. And just boom, pushes it down. It was like a couple million shares he was selling out on. And it just flushed. It flushed. I didn't short any of this. I caught the bounce a little bit, took a little bit of this off, but I didn't catch the actual bounce. Didn't do the right calculations and the math to see when it was coming. But for whoever took this bounce, great play. That is a $70 win on basically very, very little risk. That was a great play. So where are we going? You're going to ask. GME. Because GME is not about Diamond Hands, Wall Street Bets, trying to take it up. It's technically charting. And if you don't know that, then you're not going to get any good plays on it. So we haven't overcome that sell-off yet. It's too close. So it's not a long yet. And it is a short again once it gets back up to here. 325 is another short. Unless you have overwhelming volume again. But you got to take out. I don't think so. I don't think you can. 150 million shares of volume with $150 a share. Yeah, almost. For it to break back into 500, two things are going to have to happen. You're going to have more longs than you are shorts now, which I don't think that's possible. Or you need somebody with a couple billion that's going to throw it in here to maybe make these shorts pull their stops. But if you were a short, you had unlimited funds, where would you be short at now? Just like if you've been watching this, not like today, you're going to start shorting today, but if you have been a short billions of dollars for years, where would you already be short at? Billions of dollars. Where would you be short? Right here. Think about it. You watch this thing go up. It's probably already screwed you once. You're not an idiot, so you're taking your money out. You're putting it back in. You're taking your money out. You probably had paper cuts. You probably lost a couple million. You're probably pretty upset with a couple million you've lost. And then you saw this happen because you were here this day. You're probably short some shares up here. You didn't cover because you know this stock is worth $5. So you're still holding short. When it came back the next day, you knew it wasn't going to be overwhelming volume from the previous day, right? So you added more here because you've got billions of dollars. So when it tanks again, now you're even more confident that it's going down. So the next day, when it opens and rips up, you add more because it didn't even touch its previous day close, right? Like, think about this. The next day it opens up, it's nowhere to be found. You're holding for the long term because this just showed incredible weakness when it had the potential to do what Diamond Hands was talking about, $1,000 a share. You didn't go $1,000 a share. Why didn't it go $1,000 a share? Because you ain't got enough money. So comes back down here, bottoms out these $40, $50, $60 marks. If you believed in your team to try to squeeze these shorts, then you are probably stacking shares here. However, Sweaty Palms drops them out here. Why does Sweaty Palms drop them out here? Because that's 2 to 3 times the entry price if you bought on this consolidation week. Gambling. But it worked out for you, didn't it? Lottery ticket holders made some money. This is the second round of them because the first round of them were this week and got burned if they didn't take them here. So they had to take them at this side. But most of them took them this day and they didn't tell you because they're greedy. So then you had this day show up, right? This day was weird. Very, very strange. Not really. I didn't analyze that day too much, but it didn't matter because it reset the consolidation level because it was so big. Pushes back into here. Consolidation band hit here. Comes back up. Taps back out. Why does it tap back out at 195? It doesn't do things by chance. Taps it out because that was the bottom of that biggest day sell-off. So whoever was still holding bags from this day started selling off as soon as the numbers were touched, which it's not stupid. It's actually pretty smart. So then the next day you had some more people show up, right? Because it's getting attention again. It's getting back in those high numbers that people are like, oh, it's overextended. Oh my gosh. Ah! Doesn't work that way. Then this day happens, the one we just talked about. Look at that candle. Look at that candle. That is like a doji with the smallest body possible. And it's like, no, I don't want to go anywhere. Then the next day, what happens? It flushes down, and then it comes back up to not even touch the previous day close. So if this is any indication of what may happen over the weekend, bam, bam, bam. So what you could see today is you could see two things happen. The first thing you could see after the sell-off that happened in the after hours, right? That's not a good thing, right? That's not a good thing. Sell-off happens after hours. It did find support, though. Kind of found support. So what you have now is you have the first possibility. First possibility is that these people, like these not very many people, a couple hundred shares, 1,000 shares. I'm sure most of y'all could take 100 shares of this with no problem. Just continued to buy out the bid. Continued to buy out the bid and push this up. To put it back to consolidation zone from the previous day. Now, depends on who was trading this yesterday. If anybody's stuck, they don't want to hold this over the weekend because it's risky. Really, really risky. You're going to probably sell out on your first spike, right? Thing you have going for you is this is retards. I think that's what they call themselves, right? They like stonks. I think that's what they call themselves. It's not an insult. Not an insult. Not an insult. I believe that's the name that they call themselves on Wall Street Bets. So I think these guys are willing to hold still. I haven't checked on them lately, but if they are still willing to hold, then 277 is possible. A gap up through 277 is possible. The challenge is you're going to be fighting the rest of that consolidation zone from the previous run-up and the dump that we talked about. So it's low chances of that happening. It's a higher chance of it spiking and dumping. That's a higher chance. So once that happens, where's the stopping point on the dump? Well, the last dump stopping point was here. 173. $100 range down. So your upwards direction is the possibility of $30, $2.95, I would say. So you have a $30 up or $100 down? You tell me. If I gave you 2 envelopes, one had $30 in it and one had $100, which would you choose? I know. So anyways, with that being said, I think GameStop is going to be shorted today. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be wrong and off base, and somebody could show up and say, this is a good company. We're going to hold it over the weekend. But it's unlikely. I hope you guys are right. I hope you guys think you can do mean things to other people and get away with it, because that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to squeeze the shorts. The shorts are a lot smarter than you think, though, because they don't gamble. They do math. So I'm just going to sit on the sidelines because I don't want to put $26,000 in this. I don't. I mean, it is a good risk reward. Maybe if there's some really cool things that happen, but I don't think so. So the other one I want to pull up is AMC, which is a little bit better. AMC did the same thing just because it was sympathy on this day. I did trade this long off the bottom down here because you can get a lot more shares in. And the risk is a lot tighter. You know those numbers better. So you can see it did the same kind of thing, but it rebounded a lot better than GameStop did because it could have more people attack it quickly. But it is still doing the same type of deal where, come on, give me my line. Still ending up looking the same possibility. We just had our 7 a.m. crew show up. So the exchanges just went live. And let's see. Does appear that ENTX, let's go switch to ENTX real quick. I want to get you guys in on this, see what's happening. 7 a.m. crew shows up. Are they selling off? Can't show you level 2. But let's see what's happening. Yeah, there's a little bit of sell-off going down. Let's watch the 1 minute up here. 1 minute's important. See where the stopping point is on the bottom. You can see it selling off pretty hard. Are we going to catch any support? We got 619 support down there, but we also have this buyer that showed up acting as support right now. 661. So it's a 650 guy. So if 650 breaks, then it's going down. If 650 is not breaking, it's going back up. Let's see. I got an order primed. I would buy that VWAP dip support. Let's see what happens. 670. Oh, we found support pretty quickly, didn't we? All right. Well, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to wait a second. I don't trust it. Remember the consolidation zones I was talking about from yesterday. Some of those people are trading pre-market. Yeah, that's why I didn't trust it to go long. See? Now we should test VWAP again. And it has news, and it's still the leading gapper. So to me, it's still possible to be a long. But I'm going to buy under VWAP because it's going to crack through. Super surprised me if it doesn't. But that sell-off is too strong. Not enough buyers here yet. Remember y'all. Check what time majority of brokers can start shorting. So people can start shorting at what time. That's when you know what's gonna happen. First stab. I'm just gonna start slowly adding into position long here. These are shorts selling it. These aren't real sellers because the band isn't correct. Longs aren't panicking on this. Why aren't longs panicking on this? Because they have support here, they have support here, they have support here. So Building into a position slowly. See if that holds. It did hold. Flat top breakdown? Yeah, flat top breakdown. All right. It's okay. This 5-minute sell-off will provide good support. See if it bounces off of those moving averages like it was doing yesterday. See those moving averages crossing? Problem is the big red candle on the daily yesterday too will scare new buyers off, but the price point of the pre-market will attract them back. Ooh, look at those 5 massive red candles. Well, it's 4 right now, but that little guy was a red one for me in a different chart right when the bell rang. So these 4 big red ones, it's got to stop off sometime, right? It usually typically provides a flush, but it's not flushing too much. It's a nice solid red guy. Is he gonna flush down to 35? I'm adding again. Just waiting. Remember, every trade needs 3 things: your entry, your exit, and your stop loss. In the case of going long, you should probably plan your stop loss first, then your entry, and then, because most of this stuff is pure gambling, your exit goes last. You kind of just got to read the tape to see what's happening. So we punched back above VWAP real quick. Let's see if it can hold VWAP. Looks like we are holding above VWAP. It's got to struggle back through 60. It may need some help. Average is awesome on those ads. And there we go. Half sized in, and let's just go back to talking about it. So what we had happen, so you guys can know this, what's going down, is you had that 7 a.m. sell-off, right? So 7 a.m. happens, a lot of brokers can short, so they started shorting immediately because they believe it's overextended. Then what happens is it comes down, and the buyers that are also here are like, wait, this isn't a short yet. We're so close to all-time highs. Remember, all-time highs were 760, broken to 790. So it's a long, right? Like, why would you short this against the highs? The only way you should short this is if you see a massive sell order appearing on the tape. There isn't one. So you have a bunch of baby shorts that got in here. Plus, it's getting closer in the morning when these longs are waking up and they're starting to start trading. So I think because we have massive amounts of volume, we have bag holders from yesterday, we have news again today, we don't have anything else on the scans, we have a higher possibility of this thing breaking all-time highs again today. If we get enough momentum behind it in the pre-market, it could do that in the pre-market pretty easily. So I built my position, my starting position around VWAP, because that is one of the most commonly used indicators in the market. And I'm pretty much okay with plus or minus 10% on either side of VWAP, right? I don't care. Like, it's when you start looking at a trade and where it can go, what is your 10% down, right? So 10% down off of VWAP is going to be 49, right? 4.9, sorry. So 4.9 is all the way down here, which is the 20 SMA, or the 200 SMA. That's not really likely that that's going to happen, right? By the way, 10% is 60 cents. 60 cents from $6.50 is $5.90, Ben, not $4.90. So $5.90 is down here. Sorry, that was really dumb of me. $5.90 is down here. Whoops, that's not even a daily line. So we have a red target, or a green target there, and I'm just going to let this ride. I don't have any aspirations for it one way or another. I think it's going to be attacked by shorts. I think it's going to be attacked by anybody up here that was stuck in it, because the volume is only at 6.4 million. We need another 4 million which we will have it. We'll have it. It's Friday. We need this to trade about 20 million in the pre-market. So either whoever's trading it rapidly goes in and out, back and forth massively. We get some more 100,000 candles. We need to really see some 200,000 candles pushing this thing up. But what you're going to probably find is you're going to find it hugging VWAP. You're going to find it drop back down to 6, which is where my exit would be. And I'm going to add instead of exit because it's still along until 9:35. Yeah, roughly. Anytime after that, it depends what the volume is. Right now, it just has a lot of shorts hitting it already and a lot of buyers buying it. It's pretty much in this awesome V-shaped pattern again, which you guys probably have your own type of things for it. It's a struggle bus action, so I'm looking to add again down here. Bring my average to 525. Need a little bit of a spike. Bring my average to 625. Need a little bit of spike at the bell, which you'll have it because you have the momentum shift. And then I'll sell out, and I'll take maybe 50 cents a share off of it, which is not bad. And then I'll possibly look at shorting it because this is trash. No offense, company. I don't like your stock. But I do like you for momentum. If you had better news and you had like actual income producing things, then you would make sense for me long-term hold. Like I hold some long-term stuff, like Mara, I hold that. Roblox, I hold that. AMD, people that make things. So it is a good game though. If you guys needed something to trade today, it's a good game. And with that, I'm going to peace out. I need to get some breakfast. It is 7 o'clock. I've been streaming now for about 45 minutes. I hope you guys seen some stuff. Probably we're going to have some more pop up here in a little bit. I don't doubt that, but this is just the early morning crew pre-market action. See what's going on. I will be trading all day, probably from bell to bell. Maybe even taking some positions after hours today. So as this goes down, I'm looking at adding. Like I said, it's going to go up a little. It may even touch blue skies just because it's so close. So, all right, guys. Have a blessed day. Take care. And I'll see you next time, which will probably be Monday. And I can't find my mouse to click the button.